What do you think, Sander?
I don't think it's a bad thing. That's a good thing, as DDP would say it.
Right. But of course, you already knew that.
Of course.
Alright, and then the final bit of news for SummerSlam before we get to the actual match card is that they announced on Monday at Raw, I believe, when we were at that there
Monday
is
Night Raw, or
going to
earlier.
be a celebrity host for this year's SummerSlam on Sunday, and that host is going to be who, Doug Sanders?
Well, he's the former host of The Daily Show on Comedy Central. He's Jon Stewart.
That's right, Jon Stewart. The Jon Stewart, like comedy genius Jon Stewart. He is hosting WWE SummerSlam.
It's not surprising to think that, considering back in February, Jon Stewart had a program with WWE where he was a special guest appearance on the show with Seth Rollins.
Very interesting that you bring that up, Sander. That is right. Back in February, 2 months before WrestleMania, or a month before WrestleMania, Jon Stewart was doing a work with Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins came on The Daily Show and, scared him or whatever, and
basically called him out.
Right, and Jon Stewart was, cutting promos, sending, smack-talking videos to Seth Rollins and stuff like that, but it never really, and then eventually he appeared on a Monday Night Raw, right? Jon Stewart was on a Raw leading up to WrestleMania.
Seth Rollins made fun of him and actually hosted his own version of The Daily Show, actually.
That's right. I remember that. But there wasn't a big end to it or nothing, like... right?
Except for Jon Stewart kicking him in his private spots.
Okay, that's right. I remember. And then he ran out. And who was the good guy fighting Seth at that time?
I think it was a bunch of people, like basically the people at Survivor Series, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, Eric Rowan, just those guys.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. Okay. But yeah, so really cool and exciting, not unusual for WWE to incorporate celebrities, especially into the bigger shows.
Well, we'll actually have two celebrities, which we'll get on to later.
Great segue. Let's get into that right now. So yes, celebrity host Jon Stewart for this upcoming SummerSlam here on Sunday. And there is another celebrity participating in SummerSlam, and he will be actually participating in ring. And who is that, Doug Sanders?
He is the star of Arrow. He is Stephen Amell.
That's right, the TV show Arrow on the CW, I believe. It's a superhero show. For those of you who don't know, Green Arrow is a superhero, comic book superhero. And so Stephen Amell, the actor who plays that part, has been via like Twitter and just video promos and things like that, been worked into a storyline with one of our favorite heels right now. What's his name? That's right, Stardust, formerly known as Cody Rhodes. That's who egged on Stephen Amell, who plays the Arrow, because Stardust considers himself a villain and he's trying to find a worthy, foe, a worthy hero or whatever. And so he's calling out Arrow. Now, to team up with Arrow is going to be Neville, who they kind of are trying to dress and play as a powered comic hero type of guy anyway.
It's like combining Harry Potter with a superhero, basically.
Yes, exactly. Couldn't agree more. But he's a great wrestler.
Definitely.
I just wish they'd have let him keep his name Adrian Neville. And,
well, they did that previously with, like, Big E.
Cesaro.
Like, they keep doing that with a bunch of guys in NXT.
Rusev.
Yep, Rusev.
Everybody, pretty much. But so anyway, Neville will be teaming with Arrow. I'm not sure if he's going to go by Stephen Amell or Arrow. I'm curious to see like what his attire is, how, comic book superheroed up he is. But Stardust will be teaming with
King Barrett. All hail him.
Right, which I love King Barrett, but I'm not quite sure how he makes sense in any of this. Unless they're trying to have like a Neville Barrett feud of sorts.
Which they kind of squashed him on Raw, actually.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's your other celebrity involvement, and that is one of the 10 matches on this year's SummerSlam match card. Now, we don't know if these 10 matches are going to include the pre-show, or if the pre-show will be an unannounced 11th match. But this year's SummerSlam will be the first ever to be 4 hours long. They are making it an even bigger. They added an hour to it. Your normal pay-per-view is 3 hours long. WrestleMania is the only one that's ever been 4 hours long, and now SummerSlam is as well. And that is because they're trying to make SummerSlam into a second version of WrestleMania, basically.
For the summer.
That's right. But so we've went over our one match now here accidentally already, and for argument's sake or topic's sake, we'll just pretend that ends up being the pre-show match, although we don't know that or not. But it is one of two possibilities. There's only 2 of the 10 that they've announced that it could be the pre-show match, if one of those 10 is the pre-show match. So for this discussion, we'll, like I said, assume that the Stardust King Barrett versus Neville Green Arrow, aka actor Stephen Amell match, will be the pre-show match.
Stardust wants Stephen Amell to be Green Arrow in that match too.
I'm pretty sure he will be. I definitely expect that. I expect that match to be entertaining. Don't expect it to be too terribly long. I think we'll get a good 10, maybe 15 minutes out of it at most. And I definitely would expect your good guy superhero team to defeat the villains in this story.
Definitely Stephen Amell and Neville, I think. King Barrett and Stardust basically have no chance, considering King Barrett was squashed like we previously mentioned.
Those two guys get squashed and buried all the time. That's their job, is to get squashed and buried. So there's our take on match number 1. All right, now what should we discuss for match number 2, Mr. Doug Sanders?
How about the Tag Team Championship match?
All right, who do we got? What's going on in the Tag Team Championship match?
Well, we got the Primetime Players. We got Los Matadores.
Primetime Players are the current champions, correct? Yep. Okay.
The New Day and the Lucha Dragons.
New Day?
New Day.
New Day rocks. New Day rocks.
Not
That's
socks or sucks.
They're quite funny. And actually one or two of them can wrestle pretty good as well. But so we've got those 4 teams. Who was that 4th team? Oh, Lucha Dragons. That's the one I forgot. So yeah, Los Matadores, Lucha Dragons, New Day, and Primetime Players. Fatal 4-way, Primetime defending their titles. I don't want to devote too much to this time at all. This is the other potential pre-show match.
Let's just get predictions out of the way.
Yes, my prediction is that the Primetime Players will retain in a pointless match where they're just trying to build them. I would love to see the Lucha Dragons walk out of there with the belts in a good match, in a good fashion.
I don't see it happening, though.
And I'd be okay with the New Day walking out of there with the belts under any written finish.
Los Matadores have 0%.
Los Matadores have whatever number is less than 0. That's the percent of a chance that they have.
Yes.
But so I'm picking Primetime Players.
I'll go Primetime Players too.
All right. Cheering Lucha Dragons and New Day, though.
Yes,
Either
we are
of
both.
those would make me happy. All right. So what's match number 3 that we're going to discuss
we
here?
Do Kevin Owens versus Cesaro.
Oh, Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Now, a big question I've seen on social media has been, what match at SummerSlam are you most looking forward to? This is by far, hands down, no questions asked, the match that I am most looking forward to. Kevin Owens and Cesaro are 2 of the best young new stars in the WWE, period, especially when it comes to in-ring wrestling skills and performances, just going in a ring and putting on an entertaining match.
Well, independent stars always succeed in wrestling, basically. Like people like Sami Zayn,
They're always good at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use the word succeed.
Well, they're definitely good at wrestling.
Being good at something isn't the same as being successful at something, though, is what I would say. Those words mean different things.
Well, I'm just talking about their actual in-ring skill is successful for my standards.
Yes. But anyway, it is a match that I'm extremely looking forward to. I expect the in-ring technical wrestling of this match to be as entertaining as it gets. I would expect Kevin Owens to win, as I think they need to protect him a little more than they need to protect Cesaro.
And Cesaro's got so much momentum that he doesn't need this win, honestly.
Exactly. Cesaro has a ton of momentum and fan support, and as long as he's allowed to wrestle a good, entertaining wrestling match and give us some wrestling move highlights in the match, then he will get over and get the pops that they want. But his character doesn't need the victory, and I believe Kevin Owens does. The way that they wrote him out of the Cena storyline and the way that they've worked the NXT Championship Finn Balor storyline, which we'll get to here hopefully real quick before it's over. But so anyway, that's my number one match I'm most looking forward to, and I'm picking Kevin Owens to win it.
Kevin Owens too, and my most hyped up match for it too.
Wow, alright. So what's next on our match preview list?
I say we should go with Dolph Ziggler and Rusev.
Yes, alright. Now this one I am not looking very forward to. It could be an okay match. Dolph is always a great, charismatic entertainer. And, I don't know. Rusev's good at being a heel. Like he's good at getting booed and getting heel responses. The involvement of Lana and Summer Rae, definitely expect them to be fighting at some point in time. I wouldn't even be surprised if one of them has a bump scripted in from one of the other male competitors to take. And I believe this will set up an actual mixed tag team match at Night of Champions or some other pay-per-view
or Hell in a Cell,
right? But so mediocre match. I don't know. I'm thinking Dolph Ziggler needs the win more than Rusev does. So let's go with Ziggler. I guess I'm picking Ziggler.
Alright, I think that, I actually think Rusev should win, because in the mixed tag team match that comes down the line, I think Dolph and Lana should win the mixed tag match, so I think Rusev should win at SummerSlam then.
Well, and the thing I do like about Rusev winning is that they've done a really bad job of making so many of the heels look not scary, not legitimate, look weak. Bray Wyatt loses all the time. Seth Rollins has to cheat and run away all the time. Kevin Owens is getting kind of dragged through the dirt here now. Rusev has been squashed a little bit here as of late, to where I think all their top heels could definitely benefit from a big win of any kind here. I can totally see that one going either way. Alright, next match. What do we got?
How about we do the IC match between Big Show, Miz, and Ryback?
Alright, so yes, we have a triple threat match for the newly returned Intercontinental Championship.
Who is held by Ryback.
Which is held by Ryback. He is the champion. It would shock me immensely if anything were to happen other than to Ryback retain his title. Whether that be, I have no idea how, or write whatever finish you want. Ryback walks out with the title. Done. And if by some chance someone else gets it, my prediction then would be The Miz. Big Show has absolutely no chance.
I think that The Miz will win, because how they've been promoting Miz looks like he's the one who has no chance of winning, actually. So I think Miz will actually take the IC Championship.
That's a very good pick as well. Again, it's Ryback or Miz. Definitely no chance with Big Show. And that's all the time we need to devote to that match. Should be, for the most part, should be a snoozer. But you never know. Maybe Ryback will be able to give us some kind of OMG moment where he shell shocks Big Show and The Miz at the same time, like how he used to shell shock two little nobodies at the same time.